All right, welcome into Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thanks for joining us here today. We're getting through it. There's a lot of stuff happening out there. We got a lot of green on the screen too, but we have seen a little slippage. So let's take a look and see where we stand right now at this 10:45 time Central. Let's go look at that corn board, and that's going to be a decent 4-cent gain in July, right? 4.54 3/4 is last. We're about 4 cents off the high of the day. And you go out to the East, that's up 3 3/4 cents to 4.76 3/4. I don't want to call that, not quite 3 cents off the high of the day, 2 3/4 cents. So we like that. That's not too bad. But again, we had been higher. We're now about, say, 3 3/4 to 4 cents higher across the board. That's corn. Beans are doing okay today. Solid double-digit gains. We'll start with July. That's up 18 cents to 11.88 1/4. 3 3/4 cents off the high of the day, well off the low by exactly 18 cents. We've had a big 22-cent range over there. You move out to the Nove, that's the new crop. 14 3/4 cents better there. 11.79 3/4 is last. And I'm going to call that 2 1/4 cents off the high. It's just 2 cents off the high now. We just ticked up to 11.80. That's the new crop. Making our way towards $12. Can we do it? Moving over to wheat. Let's see what's going on in the wheat in Chicago. We're lower now, 2.5 cents lower. 5.96 3/4 is last. 1 1/4 off the low of the day. And that's a 20-cent range in my book. So we're 1 1/4 off the low at 20-cent range. That'll kind of give you an idea of the weakness that we're seeing right now. Dees is down 1 3/4 to 6.44, and that too is 1 1/4 off the low of the day. And we've had about a 17-cent range out there. So just not doing too well on its heels right now. That's Chicago wheat. Let's go to the hard red in Kansas City. That's higher still, 2 1/4 cents higher in the July. 6.27 1/4 is last, but we're still closer to the low than the high. We're only about 2 3/4 cents off the low, and well off the high by about, I'm going to call that 11 3/4 cents. So that'll give you an idea about what's going on there. Dees is up 2 cents. That's good, right? But 6.61 1/2 is last, and that's a dime off the highs, a dime and a quarter off the highs, and we're only about, 3 cents off the lows, 3 1/4. So that also kind of gives you an idea about what's been happening. That's hard red. Let's go to the spring wheat in Minneapolis. That's 5 cents higher in that July contract to 7.07 1/4. That's a 2 3/4 cents off the high there of a 10-cent range, basically. 4 3/4 cents better in the East to 7.24, and that's 2 cents off the high of an 8 cents range. All right, so that's what's happening with the spring wheat. We'll go to cotton. We'll get to our next guest analyst. Cotton can't find its feet. 93 points lower in that July contract to 75.58, 3 points off the low of the day. East is down 86 points to 74.31. All right, let's bring him in. It's going to be Mr. Nick Paumen. He's with CHS. Nick, thanks for being on the show. He comes to us from Inver Grove Heights. I've got a full 60 seconds for you. Have at it. Floor is yours.
Sure. Yeah, good morning. Well, like you said, looking good across corn and beans. Wheat's off the highs a fair amount, though. Everything's really off the highs a little bit. Sizable ranges across the board. It seemed like today's rally was maybe sparked by some overnight headlines from around the world, short covering by the funds. Fundamentally, really not a whole lot has changed day to day. So really technically driven, which can be hard to sustain these kind of rallies. And, I was watching for this 10 to 11 o'clock hour to see if we'd hold that. And really it looks like right now we're not holding true. Export sales this morning, really nothing major there either. Everything came really within the estimated ranges. Whole crop meal was below the estimated range. So I guess shouldn't be too surprising there, but really nothing for big grain news today. Of course, like the weather guy said before me here, that we're watching the wetness across the Midwest here. Some question in the wet areas when we'll be back in the field. Of course, that's improving the drought maps, replenishing the soil reserves, the moisture in the soil. So it's looking good in that regard. But a little bit of question on when we'll be back in the field and see some good planting progress.
Well, I mean, it's like that age-old question. You get, nobody doesn't, you're not going to curse away the rain. I mean, I know it makes guys get a little antsy to get out there, but, if you can get rid of that drought map right now, I think everybody would take that. So we'll see. Thank you very much for coming on.
Absolutely.
Nick Paumen comes to us from Inver Grove Heights, CHS. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills, and we're going to come back and talk more livestock with me right after this.